Hey there everybody, Eric from Outer Limitless coming at you today with another video. Now in today's video we're going to look at a couple of cook sets from the company Stanley. So here in my hands, this is the Even Heat Camp Pro Cook Set. And here, the full kitchen Basecamp Cook Set. Now at an initial glimpse, when I hold both of these up, they actually look fairly similar. So taking a look at these side by side, well, you may ask yourself, what exactly is the difference between these two cook sets? And well, when the people at Stanley reached out to me to see if I'd be interested in reviewing their products, when I saw both of these, I asked the exact same question. At first, it looks like they're very similar, but when you take a closer look, there's actually some pretty significant differences. So for people that may be between one or another one of these sets, going through the details is really going to help. And that's exactly what we're going to do today. We're going to get a first look at these cook sets side by side, get a comparison, look at the overall features on each one of these, and see which one may be a better match for you. And then in the future, what we're going to do, well, it's about that fire pit season. I'm going to get outside and do some good outdoor cooking, putting these to good quality cooking use. And so when I come back, we'll get into these in a whole bunch of detail. But with that said, I have a whole bunch to do and a whole bunch to share with you. And if you're interested in seeing a little bit more about what I'm about to get into, do me a favor, stay tuned. Now, before we get too far, I would like to say thank you very much to the people at Stanley who did provide these for review. Now, again, here we have two different cook sets. This one here, the Even Heat Camp Pro Cook Set. Here, the full kitchen Basecamp Cook Set. And both of these falling in the Adventure series of Stanley products. Now, the Even Heat Camp Pro Cook Set, this is geared a little more towards the food prep and really getting down to some cooking, making a whole bunch of dishes. And at that point, well, the full kitchen Basecamp Cook Set, a little bit more towards the eating application. So both of these capable of doing a good amount of cooking, yet at the same time, the Basecamp full kitchen camp set, again, a little more towards eating. So depending on what you want out of your cook set, one of these may tailor itself a little bit better than the other. So at this point, let's get into these in detail. We're going to start with the full kitchen Basecamp Cook Set. And so as you look here, well, in shipping, unfortunately, this box took a little bit of a hit. And when I got this, well, I have to be honest, I was kind of nervous that inside the product would actually be damaged. However, the people at Stanley, well, luckily they had this well covered, because as we get into this and opening this up, their packaging design actually fully protects the product, and that's a good thing. As you look inside here, they did a real nice job actually packaging everything up, and the way this is done, it actually fully protected the cook set. So thank goodness the people at Stanley are paying attention to their packaging design, because, well, it certainly worked. And so one of the first features that you're going to notice is that everything nests together nicely. That's really a big deal, especially when you're talking about camping equipment and camping gear. It needs to be compact. It needs to fit together well. And, well, at that point, you do have to say, give it to the people at Stanley. They've always done a nice job with nesting products. Like, for example, this camp mug and little cook set. I have had this for years and used it a bunch of times. I mean, a ton. Has a nice little strainer, and then on the inside, some cups. I mean, I think most of you are probably familiar with this. I mean, this is a very popular product. I'm sure thousands and thousands of these have sold, and it's kind of a classic design. So this particular mug, again, nesting together very well, and well, that is absolutely the case with the cook set. So here again, taking a look at this, everything nesting together very nice. Now, Stanley utilizing just beautiful stainless steel, very nicely done, and you'll see here This has this little bit of an elastic over the top, so just being careful here. This is one thing you will need to be a little bit careful of. So I'd say if you're not careful, this could disappear on you. But at this point, you will see this is sort of instrumental in keeping everything sort of tied together. Here you end up with a lid that doubles as a strainer, so not just a lid to your pots, but a strainer top. And as you look at the inside here, actually a little laser etched illustration how everything goes back together. As we go to pull this out, again, still has a little bit of packaging, but you'll notice that these handles sort of flipping over the top here and nesting into the top. So we'll keep an eye on that. And here, just a beautiful frying pan. So again, very nice. As we look at it here, this does say 32 ounce. So it's a 32 ounce frying pan. And it's interesting on the bottom that says B21. So there are some instructions and a user's manual here, but just noting that some of this does have some etching and indicates this is B21. BPA free, dishwasher safe, and well, if you know anything about metal, you definitely don't put that in the microwave. So it says do not microwave. Well, I guess they have to put their warnings on everything because, well, hot metal can cause burns. Yes, it most certainly can, and it becomes extremely hot during use. So, well, I agree with that. I'm not going to be surprised if I am not careful and I burn myself, but you never know with people. But here, this little sort of collar here, locking the handle into place. So that's your frying pan. So again, a 32 ounce frying pan. Some utensils, so some handles and your different utensils. It's interesting, this almost uses a buckle in a way to pop on the handle, so pretty cool. So actually you'll see this one here saying number 2, and number 2 going to the spoon. So these clip together. No problem there. A number 1, which we'll see what that goes to. And here a number 3. Do these go together? Looks like it does. Continuing on, here we have 4 bowls, so some plastic bowls. Now again, as you look at the bottom of this, this also shows sort of that nesting operation there. So as you take a look, a little bit of an illustration. This also says B21. So kind of interesting. I'm wondering if that's maybe somehow, as I look closer at the box, is this somehow all labeled B21? Doesn't necessarily say, but again, 4 bowls, so 4 plastic bowls. And again, taking another look at this, these are dishwasher safe, and they say microwave safe, but again, do not microwave empty. These are 22 ounce bowls, and these are BPA free. So very nice. And again, this starts to show how this kit is tailored towards eating. So again, 4 bowls. Underneath here, 4 plates. So taking a look here, again, B21, dishwasher safe, microwave safe, BPA free, and these 4 plates. Continuing on the inside here, well, here we have a couple of different things. I believe this here is a cutting board. So here, nice little cutting board, pretty straightforward. Some sporks, so 4 sporks to utilize with your eating set. Little, what they call a trivet. So I think in essence, the ability to sort of put your spoons on a surface that's clean. This is able to be put in the dishwasher and cleaned up. And then here, a little bit of a drying rack. So this is in essence like a dish drying rack. So if you happen to be cleaning up and you had your sort of plates and you wash those and you wanted to dry these out, you can certainly do that, which I don't know how I feel about the need for this. It seems kind of cool. Can you get the bowls in here as well? Maybe this way? Can these all fit? That's an interesting question. And I think the answer is yes. So that's actually pretty cool. Interesting idea. I wouldn't have thought of needing a drying rack, but I guess if you're out there and you want to clean things up, and you could, certainly take these and kind of drop them in there if you needed to. But yeah, I would say the fact of the matter is, Would I need this? Not necessarily, but the fact that I have it is actually kind of cool. And then last but not least, here is your 3.7 quart pot. So again, this is stainless steel, beautifully done. This here, again, BPA free, dishwasher safe, and well, don't be surprised, this gets hot, and don't put it in the microwave. And so all in all, as we look at this set, again, the ability to get down to cooking, so between your pot and between your frying pan, this is really gonna be your sort of main apparatus for cooking. You do end up with this strainer lid, which, yep, fits on there nicely. Fits on there nicely. So depending on what you're doing, you can definitely mix and match a little bit. You have the ability to do your cutting. So there's your cutting surface. Again, you end up with a spatula. You end up with a spoon. Stir some sauce, stir some pasta, fry up some food, no problem. You have this little trivet. So again, as you're working, if you want to keep things kind of clean and tidy, you can do so. And then beyond that, well, the ability to also eat. So your bowls, your plates, your sporks, all of that working out pretty well, where with this particular kit, you do have the ability to not just cook your food, but also eat. And even furthermore, beyond that, well, when you're trying to clean up, you actually have that drying rack too. So very cool. This full kitchen Basecamp Cook Set being sort of a do-it-all type of kit. But what about this Camp Pro Cook Set? The Even Heat Camp Pro Cook Set here. Again, boxed up. Same sort of packaging that we saw on the other kit. Maybe just a little bit different. You'll see here actually an additional little piece over the top. But these corners protecting everything. Now, luckily, this one did not get bashed. And as we pull this out here, slightly different color. So this keeper on the top here having gray. The other one had that green. But pulling this apart now, again, be careful. Do not lose this. This is an integral part of the kit in the ability to kind of keep everything packaged up. You also have your strainer lid here. And as we flip this over, you'll see in a very similar way, laser etched to show you the overall nesting sequence. Now, as we compare these lids side by side, you'll notice that here on the Basecamp Cook Set, that is a little bit smaller. And on the Camp Pro, this is a little bit larger. Well, that does coincide with the size of the pot, and we'll get into that in a little bit. Your care and use user's manual. Here, a collapsible cutting board. And if you notice, this is a nice large surface. So larger than on the Basecamp kit, definitely giving you a little more prep surface. So again, this kit here is going to be more focused on the food prep and actual cooking rather than the eating. So a little bit more, I would say, specific now, focused more on the cooking tasks. Now pulling this out again, here we'll remove this, so your frying pan. Now here, this says C21. So this again being a different set, being the C21 set. This is a 1.1 quart pan. So here you'll see dishwasher safe and everything else. This gets hot, and do not put this in the microwave, but overall BPA free and a nice size. Comparing the Camp Pro frying pan versus the Basecamp frying pan, again, larger, a little bit larger and more geared towards heavy duty cooking for more people. This one being a little bit smaller. Both are basically about equally deep, but you definitely get a little bit more size out of the Camp Pro Cook Set. Now next, here you can see another pot. So this one here being sort of a saucepan. Again, having a strainer lid and these nice little handles on top. Pulling these out just for a minute and taking a look here. This again, C21. This is a 1.9 quart pot. Very nice, that beautiful stainless steel. Look at the side of that, just nicely done. These are absolutely gorgeous. Now keep in mind, these are a 3-ply design. So all of these pots and pans being a 3-ply design, which is used to try to evenly distribute the heat. So where you're camping, a lot of times your heat sources are not that even. Maybe they're smaller burners, maybe they're really concentrated, maybe actually you're cooking over a fire and you can't necessarily control your heat source all too well. So having something that's a 3-ply and it's going to nicely evenly distribute the heat across the entire bottom surface and into the rest of the pan. So hopefully preventing you from burning your food and really evenly cooking for the most part. But again here, the 1.9 quart saucepan. Now I removed these utensils here, so as we get into this and opening these up, well, very similar to the other set, these are collapsible, which works out to the point where it does help you nest the set together. So looking at this carefully, this is number 2. Here, these do not necessarily look to be differentiated, so I'm just gonna snap these together. No problem there. So your spatula and a nice large spoon. So going very well. And again, these seem to be fairly sturdy overall and much more so than the Basecamp kit. So again, if you look at the difference between the Basecamp kit and your Camp Pro set, the Camp Pro set being much more durable, much more robust. But even though both of these do come with spoons and well, both come with spatulas, you can clearly see the advantage when cooking with the Camp Pro set. So again, a little more robust, a little bit more heavy duty, both of them doing the job, but again, one set really being more tailored towards the heavy duty cooking. Here you can see 2 trivets, which, I don't know, I think you can also use these to sort of help hold your pot. I think that's actually really the intended purpose, and I am probably making up the fact that you use these as a spoon stand. I think you actually are really intended on using these to help you pick up your pot so you don't burn your hands. And you definitely need 2 of them with these larger pots. So here, this is a nice large stock pot. Again, just absolutely beautifully done. 3-wall stainless steel. The C21 set, and this is a 4.75 quart stock pot. So just a huge pot. I mean, you could do a whole bunch of stuff with this. You could certainly, boil a bunch of different foods, make a bunch of different soups, do a huge batch of pasta, whatever you need to do. I mean, this pot is absolutely gigantic. And again, being that 3-wall stainless steel, that's going to help to distribute the heat amongst the entire pot. And again, having your cover, no problem. The cover actually doubles not just for the stock pot, but also for the frying pan. So fitting on there nicely, reasonable fit, no problem. So this Camp Pro Cook Set, absolutely beautiful. And so now here, packaged up, well, here is the Basecamp, and here is the Camp Pro. Again, just a little bit different in terms of their overall finish. And when I say that, you can see just subtle differences. The stamp, the color of the band, sort of the way these go together is fairly simple, fairly straightforward, yet at the same time, just a little bit different, keeping in mind the fact that the Basecamp a little bit more geared towards eating and the Camp Pro geared a little bit more towards cooking. Simple meals, quick and easy, larger meals, more people. So depending on what you're trying to do, you really need to think about which one of these sets would work better for you. And of course, this pretty much goes without saying, these are not small kits. So if you're somebody looking for the hiking or backpacking scenario, these are definitely not for you. Now again, these are more like base camp kits. So let's just say, for example, you're car camping, these would be fantastic. If you have a cabin, no problem. Even if you're doing overland, these would be great. If you have like a 4x4 SUV, some sort of, I would say, overland excursion, that would be great. Snowmobiles, 4-wheelers, absolutely awesome. So if you had something where you had the ability to really package these up and bring a little more weight and you don't worry about the bulk, these kits are going to be awesome. For me, I think these are going to come into play in a couple of places. If you've been watching my channel in the past, I built myself a Polk sled where, well, at that point, weight and bulk really don't matter too much, this Basecamp kit would be really great for that. And even the Camp Pro, if I went with a whole bunch of people and needed to cook a larger meal, that would work out just fine. But this one I think is going to kind of fit a nice little niche for me. So again, you really need to think about what your intended use is. If you need more of that eating side, if you need more of that cooking side, larger volume meal, or just something quick and easy, either one of these are going to work, but you definitely need to think about it. And so again, I'd like to say thank you very much to the people at Stanley who did provide these for review. Keep in mind, this was just a preliminary look at these. At this point, I got to get these cleaned up. They say they're dishwasher safe. Well, I'm going to run these through the dishwasher, and that way we can take a look at them in the future when I get out into the field, do some good quality outdoor cooking. I absolutely cannot wait to use these kits. And if you like this content, do me a favor, take a look at my Outer Limitless 2 YouTube channel, which is more of my tactical and firearms-based YouTube channel. I have a whole bunch of gear on there and a lot of great content. And so if you like what you saw here today, I think you'll also like what you see on my Outer Limitless 2 YouTube channel. So all right, guys, thanks for stopping by. I hope you like what you saw. I hope you found it a little bit informative. If you like what you saw, please like, share, and subscribe. And as always, thanks for stopping by. Take care now. I'll see you soon.